So, in this chapter on right to equality, and I was talking about Article 14, now I would like to specifically talk about the concept of rule of law, which emerges from Article 14. So, rule of law, its meaning and various dimensions or meaning and scope. Its meaning and scope is what I would like to discuss in this particular video. And please remember, rule of law emerges from Article 14. Article 14 deals with equality before law and equal protection of laws. The state shall not deny to any person equality before law, and equal protection of laws, So, this equality before law also includes rule of law. Equality before law also includes rule of law. Nobody equality is above law. No man is above law means law is supreme. That is what exactly we are trying to talk. And this equality before law is what, this idea of rule of law originated from England, from Britain, and it is a concept by Lord Dicey. Lord Dicey talked about rule of law. It's a concept originated from England, and it means no man is above law and every person, whatever be his rank or status, is subject to the jurisdiction of the ordinary courts. And a man can be punished only for violation of the law, and he cannot be punished for anything else. Okay. In fact, the axiom is a man can be punished for violation of law, but he cannot be punished for anything else, or he can be punished for nothing else. Okay. A man can be punished only for a violation of law. If a law is violated, then he can be punished. He can be punished for nothing else. See the George Floyd case in US, that African American person. He was, brutally killed by the police for no reason. And whatever violation of the law he has done, that punishment is a minuscule punishment. It's a minor punishment he can get. Even if the police officer says he did a big crime, he was not violent, he was not abusive, he is unarmed, he was already handcuffed. Even after that, the police fellow killed him by choking him. That is unacceptable. In fact, no person shall be subject to, is rule of law also includes no person shall be subject to any harsh or uncivilized or discriminatory treatment, subject to any harsh or uncivilized or discriminatory treatment. No person shall be subject to any harsh, uncivilized or discriminatory treatment, even for the sake of maintaining law and order. So, very important, even for the sake of maintaining law and order. See, you cannot claim that I am trying to maintain law and order, so for that I am doing this harsh and uncivilized punishment to George Floyd. You cannot claim, it is against rule of law. So, rule of law, if no person can be subject to any harsh, uncivilized or discriminatory treatment. So, there are three basic meanings to rule of law. Finally, to just to summarize once again, there are three basic meanings to rule of law. Three basic meanings to rule of law. Number one, absence of arbitrary power. Absence of arbitrary power or supremacy of, see, no official has an arbitrary power. No official can have arbitrary power or discriminatory power, he cannot have, or supremacy of law. Supremacy of law. A man can be punished for a breach of law, but he cannot be punished for anything else. He cannot be punished for anything else. If there is a breach of law, violation of law, a man can be punished. So, absence of arbitrary power. See, what the police officer in the George Floyd case used is arbitrary power. The law is, he became supreme, law is not supreme in that case. That is unacceptable in a civilized society, in a democratic society. Absence of arbitrary power. Number two, equality before law. Equality before law. So, the second meaning is the law is supreme, all are equal before law, nobody is above law. Supreme law of land. Constitution is the supreme law of land, and all laws of rule of law. So, from equality before law only rule of law is coming, or rule of law's meaning is equality before law, either way we can say. And the third meaning, basic meaning is the Constitution is the supreme law of land. The Constitution is the supreme law of land. Constitution is the supreme law of land, and all laws passed by the legislature should be consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. Legislature should be consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. Should be consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. All laws passed by the Constitution is the supreme law of land, and any law passed in the Parliament should be consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. See, in fact, when Dicey said in the context of UK, England, there is no constitution there. See, there he said the king, the crown is the supreme law of land, and any law passed by the legislature should be consistent with the provisions of the king. But here, Constitution is supreme. All organs draw its powers from the Constitution. So, three basic meaning. One is absence of arbitrary power or supremacy of the law. Number two, equality before law. And number three, the Constitution is the supreme law of land, and all laws passed by the legislature must be consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. And in fact, in 2006, in the Nagaraj case, in 2006, in M. Nagaraj versus Union of India, 2007 in M. Nagaraj versus Union of India case, we will be talking about this case, 2007. Supreme Court declared that right to equality under Article 14, right to equality and the rule of law is a basic structure of the Constitution, basic structure of the Constitution. So, it cannot be violated at any cost. Supreme Court opinion that equality is the essence of democracy. Supreme Court insisted that this rule of law and equality is the essence of democracy. Equality is the essence of democracy and it is a basic feature of the constitution. Now, according to Supreme Court, if Article 14 is withdrawn, the political pressure exercised by the numerically large groups can tear the country apart. See, just imagine, majoritarianism will come. If all are not equal, if the minorities are not equal in the society, if the minority, the poor Muslims are not equal in the society right now, because of Article 14, if it is not there, what will happen? The majority, the numerically large groups can tear the country apart by leading the legislature to pick and choose favored areas, favored classes for preferential treatment. See, equality before law ensures that even if you are only one man, you are also equally, you have also have the same right of a majority community. So, in a democracy or in a society where so many different communities are living, so many different cultures are there, equality before law ensures that the majoritarianism will not prevail. Majoritarianism will not prevail, because all are equal. Even when the Delhi riots took place in 2020, and when the police inquiry took place, and even the Sessions Court, the Patiala Court, commented that it seems as if you are inquiring only against one community. See, there is equality before law. Even the minority community has a right. The police should do justice to all. Equality before law. That is why Article 4 is it's a basic structure of the constitution. All are equal is very important. Otherwise, the political pressure by the numerically large groups can tear the country. This is what Supreme Court said. The political pressure exercised by numerically large groups can tear the country apart by leading the legislature to pick and choose favored areas, favored community, favored classes for preferential treatment, and in the process the democracy will be meaningless for those underprivileged or not privileged classes. So, equality before law and rule of law is a basic structure of the constitution. So, this rule of law has three meanings: no arbitrary power, supremacy of the law; number two, equality before law; and number three, constitution is the supreme law of land, and all laws passed in the parliament should conform to the constitution, and we cannot violate that basic, and that is why Supreme Court said it's a basic structure without which democracy is meaningless. Supreme Court insisted that equality is the essence of democracy. Article 14 and rule of law is the essence of democracy in India. And how is it protected? See, this Article 14 and rule of law is protected by Article 32. You can approach the Supreme Court directly, or Article 226, you can approach the High Courts directly, so that any violation by the state, any violation of Article 14 by the state can be remedied by using Article 32 and Article 226. So, that is rule of law, and rule of law emerges from Article 14. It is protected by the Supreme Court and the High Courts through Article 32 and Article 226.